Well, if it isn't Rugby 20, we are back with the third phase of the beta, and this is my first game back. Obviously, we will be playing on the hardest difficulty, which you all know by now is Pro, and I'll be playing against the highest rated licensed team in the game at the moment, which is Wales. As for who I'll be playing with, I opted to go with the fan favourite, or my favourite, from this year's Rugby World Cup, and that is Japan. So this gameplay in the background is one of my first few matches on Phase 3, and before I get into talking about the actual beta, there is a decent amount of patch notes to go over, which will be in the comments section once again. No external links or anything, so you can just scroll down, take a look while you're watching the video. I'm not too sure how long my commentary will last, because I'm having some technical difficulties with my mic. So before it gets any worse, let's get straight into it, and I'll give my thoughts about the game, or the game that I played in the background here. So prior to playing, I did not read any of the patch notes. I wanted to see if I could notice any differences myself with the gameplay in particular, and I've got to say the gameplay felt like a step backwards from the previous patch, which is a little unfortunate, but that's my honest opinion about it. The game feels sluggish now, it feels slower, and the flow of the game, I don't know, it doesn't feel as flowy, if that makes any sense. Another fairly noticeable change was the passing. Now, I'm not sure who was giving them the advice on the passing, but yes, it felt a little magnetic in previous patches, but in its current state, it feels a little slower, and passes seem to go to ground a lot more than they used to, if at all, previously. A couple of other disappointments that stood out to me were the rolling Maul. For some reason, they decided to, I guess, simplify the way the rolling Maul works by using just one button. It was already simple to begin with, which I felt was kind of weird that they changed that. And it also felt like they shortened the little struggle battles in the rolling Maul, which again, I don't think was a necessary change, but I think the thought behind it would have been to possibly to reduce tries from the lineout. Possibly the rolling Maul lineouts were pretty easy to do in the past. Now the distance traveled, if you're probably, I'd say 5 meters out from the line, you won't be making it over the try line that easily, which, if I think about it now, is a pretty decent quality of life improvement. After all, the less cheesy tactics, it'll make the PvP aspect of the game more enjoyable. So with those out of the way, I think the biggest difference, and what I like the most about this patch, is that the AI seems to be a little bit harder than before. Especially on Pro difficulty, they don't miss as many tackles as they used to, and they're definitely winning more rucks than they used to. Don't get me wrong, I could still get the occasional really quick turnover, as you just saw there, but it's not as frequent as it used to be, and it makes the game in general more of a struggle, more of a grind. And me personally, I like that kind of gameplay. I'm not too sure how the masses would receive that, but then again, on the hardest difficulty, you shouldn't expect anything less. And as you can tell by the gameplay, I did struggle a little bit. So what you won't see on YouTube, and what I try to implement in the gameplay, is to try and play as realistic as possible. I try to grind through the middle of the field with the forwards, and I've got to tell you, it's a bit of a struggle trying to make meters around the ruck, but it's a good struggle in my opinion. It makes the payoff of scoring a try after all that grinding, makes it more rewarding in my opinion. And in doing so, trying to play that gritty style around the ruck and through the middle, I've noticed a lot more rolling Mauls being triggered, and I've noticed in the defensive line a lot of two-man tackles, which is cool to see. So my overall thoughts of Phase 3 in this Rugby 20 beta, the best changes that were made were to the AI. Everything else, I'm not too keen on. Should you fork out the, what was it, like $100 on PSN to pre-order and get access to the beta? Honestly, I don't think it's worth that much. You could probably wait, or if you haven't played Rugby Challenge 3, go and give that a crack with Cornflake's slider settings. I'm not too sure if I'll be making any more Rugby 20 videos after this. I may delve into it once the game releases, because I'm genuinely interested in what the career mode will be like, if there'll be any customization. The game not having any major Southern Hemisphere teams or competitions was pretty much the knockout blow for me. But I don't know, I guess we'll see when the time comes. The beta for the moment is just good for a few games, and then it's back to whatever main game you're playing. Just to remind you guys, the patch notes will be in the comment section. I need to end the commentary right here, but the gameplay will play on, and you could enjoy it. It was a pretty competitive first match. As always, if you'd like to see more Rugby 20 content or more content in general, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
Owens takes the ball. Recovered by North. The ball's taken. He's under pressure.
He had enough room to clear the ball.
We've reached the end of the first half. Ball kept by Wales. He saw the gap. Excellent handling. He's taken to the ground. Now he has to release the ball.
It's taken by the number 9. They pile into the ruck.
So that will be a ball for Wales.
They really should be getting the ball out to the wingers.
Look at the backs getting into position.
It's worth trying, Nick. Can they make it work? In they go to the ruck.
Hats off to the defence. They really snuffed out that attack.
Just a bit imprecise.
It's an advantage.
They're moving the ball well. He offloads the ball out of the tackle.
The advantage.
It's a ruck for Wales. Might be worth spreading it to the wing.
And a ruck is formed.
And they keep possession. And the ball in the arms of the scrum half. And that's it. The first half comes to its conclusion. Blow of the whistle from the referee, and we're underway again at the start of the second half. A ruck's formed.
They've managed to keep possession of the ball. And the attack leads to a ruck.
The ball's being moved around. The referee says that's a ruck. That ball's been taken by Wales. Not a good pass by Davies.
He'll have to be careful. He's missing too many passes. They're putting all the forwards into the line-out.
They've worked hard to retain possession. He sets off down the touchline. So that'll be a throw-in for Wales. So let's see how they negotiate this five-man line-out. So the ball still with the attack. Jones accelerates, gets through.
He gets back onto his feet to challenge for the ball. Oh, that was a high tackle. That should be a yellow card.
Oh, that really was borderline.
They really need to keep a lid on their aggression. The referee saw everything, so he'll be leaving the field for 10 minutes.
Everybody in the line out. It's a full one.
Great throw in by the hooker. Gets his hands free in the contact.
Gaps opening up out wide. A Maul's formed.
The defence struggling to stop the momentum.
The Maul gets support from Adams. Support in the Maul with Shingler. The referee tells them they've stopped moving forward.
And they fly into the ruck.
The ball's been burgled. It's a ruck, and the ball was lost by Wales.
Oh, they're really intent on keeping this ball alive. Oh, that's a missed tackle.
A fresh move here, Ben. Something new.
Let's see if they can take the defence by surprise.
And it worked.
It's clear, well thought through, and it's worked really well.
They have to get the ball to the winger.
Well, the defence really got their man there.
Ruck forms. They took the ball in. And it's still theirs.
They're passing the ball around well.
They must get the ball out to the wingers. The ball's been grounded and it's a try. Oh, everything that went into that has been rewarded. What a brilliant try.
They saw the opening, didn't hesitate and took full advantage. What a try.
Nil for the moment between the two teams. That's gone left.
Yes, he's pushed that too far to the left. He's gathered that ball really well. They set up a ruck.
Japan keep the ball. Oh, look at the energy, the dynamism of it all. A great platform to attack from here, from this ruck. Very skillful handling. That ball well taken by Williams. Well taken. There's not a great deal of support there. Successful offload out of the tackle.
They've managed to keep possession of the ball. Great precision and really good timing for that offload. A really good contest there, and they managed to get the ball.
He's taken to the ground. Now he has to release the ball.
The defence seems less effective out wide.
Shingle, tackle, but still passes the ball. Ball still in the hands of Wales. That looks like it'll be a ruck. Davies is calling the play. They're scrapping for the ball. You can see how deep the backs have lined up, Ben.
I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with that positioning.
Japan managing to keep the ball. Kicked along the ground into the 22. That's it. Game over. Victory for Japan. Well, that was a bit of a shock inflicted by Japan on Wales this evening.
They played pretty well, and they came up with what was probably a surprising victory.
All good things must come to an end.